Welcome back my YouTube families. Today's recipe I'm dedicating to every mom around the world. So let's celebrate this special day. I'm doing it in advance so y'all can make for your mom. And this is the best cake I'm going to share. One of the best cake I'll share with you. It's quite healthy. Instead of using oven, we are not going to use oven today. We're going to steam this cake and it's going to turn out like it's baked, but it's going to be more fluffy and moist. You can keep it for a few days, still retain the same moist. So let's begin. 6 large eggs, 330 mils of warm milk, 360 grams of plain flour, 200 grams of dark brown sugar. I use less sugar, but if you like more sweeter, you can use more. So this is like half sugar. 2 teaspoons of dried instant yeast, half a teaspoon of salt, 100 mils of olive oil. Towards the end, I'll show you how to mix the baking soda and baking powder. So that'll be 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda with 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'll leave that towards the end. And here I have an optional ingredients. I'm going to use dried grapes. This is a very special grapes. It's dark, long grapes like that. I'm going to cut it into small, so I'm using 1/4 cup. As you can see, most of the ingredients I have added to these and mix it well till everything is incorporated. And the egg that I set aside, that will be towards the last, and I'll explain that later. And once it's fully mixed, put a cover over it and let it rest for 2 hours. After 2 hours, remove the cover and remember the egg mixture that I put it aside, 3 tablespoons. Now we're going to mix the baking soda and baking powder. So we're going to add in, that's because why you can't combine is yeast is a microorganism, and baking soda and baking powder, their reaction is different because they are chemical. Okay, so let's add 2 teaspoons of baking powder into the egg. 1, 2. To that we'll add in 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda. Now we'll mix. You might not be able to see the chemical reaction because of the foam in the egg, but you'll see in a bit when I mix to the yeast mixture. You might see it. Can you see? It's very foamy. It's a chemical reaction. Now we're going to pour it into the yeast mixture. Spread all the over. Give it a good mix. Can you see now? That's the reaction from the baking powder and baking soda. Now you'll see the reaction in the... So give it a good mix, quick good mix, and pour it into the baking tray. I'll put the size of the baking tray in the description box. If you got a little bit, take it a bit higher so you create more air into the batter. Give it a tap and put it in the steamer for 40 minutes. 35 minutes steaming time off the stove and 5-minute resting time. Wrap the lid with the cloth and steam it for 35 minutes off the oven. Rest it further for 5 minutes. As you can see, the cake is done. Also, so you can have a look. It's nice and bouncy. You can see. Okay. Now we loosen a bit on the sides like that. Use a spatula. Let's try flipping the cake. It's very hot, so I'm going to use a cloth. Be careful, don't burn your hand. There we go. Remove the parchment paper. Place the cake tray underneath like so. I recycle all the cake trays. Flip it over like that. So you can see how beautiful the cake looks. I'm going to leave it to cool down to room temperature and dust it with some powdered sugar. I wanted to add dried sultanas, but I forgot. And you don't have to want to, but if you want, you can add any before you put it on this. There's many ways to decorate the cake. When you're dusting it, you can put, you can cut papers with patterns and then put it on top and dust it with icing sugar, or you can use bamboo skewers like these. So what you do is you place it about, say however you like, doesn't really matter. It's less than 1 inch. Then I would go across, and then you dust it. You can put fruits on top and dust it. You can put other icings too. Really, it's up to you. You can be creative as you wish. Come back to it later once. Okay, let's dust it with powdered sugar. And remove the sticks. And you can sprinkle with some sultanas. It's falling all over the place. The cake is a bit still warm, so the sugar is a bit melting. Okay, that's the basic idea. I hope you like the content, and I really want all of you to try this cake. It's one of the best recipe I'm giving you, and I want everyone, and it's safe for everyone to steam it. And I hope you'll surprise your mom with these recipes. Happy Mother's Day in advance to every mother's watches and subscribe to my video.